All right, hi baseball fans. This is gonna be fairly quick. Um, First off, though, before we get into anything, it says on the tin, I want to a lot of kudos and a lot of shout out to Bernard Strom, who did his very first live broadcast, and he did it on Action PC Baseball and his 1912 Red Sox replay, and he did a great job. So usually he's been using the narrator and then adding color commentary, but he did play by play. He really likes it and says that actually for his 1950 replay Red Sox, he's also going to be doing live play by play. He did a great job, and still adjusting to the dead ball era and stuff. But I thought he did great. So I don't know, Bernard, if you catch us on the flip side or whatever, but yeah, excellent job. All right, channel update, and then we'll get to the main part of this is how to be the Indians and Out of the Park 24, and we'll talk about why that's important. Um, so I'm going to hold off starting the Demogreevy League a little bit, at least until I find out when they're going to be doing the Shanks 3.0. So just hang in there tight there, McGreevy guys. We'll definitely be back with that, but I figure right now there's looking at the Discord, and quite a few people signed up for McGreevy. Again, it's only going to be one night of draft, and then I think a week later or something, the season is going to be simmed. So I didn't want to, sort of have, you know, McGreevy, and then we're doing McGreevy, and then Shanks is also being done in the community. So we're gonna just hold back on Shanks a little bit, which is fine. It'll allow us to finish the KCCL. All right, now to it's a strange question: how to be the Indians in Out of the Park 24. So background story. Of course, everybody knows that Out of the Park Baseball has the Major League Baseball license, the Major League Players Association's license, and of course the minor league baseball endorsement. Well, one of the stipulations when Cleveland had changed its name from the Indians to the Guardians was that it has to be the Guardians. You have to use that. And so, just as an example, I just set up 1948 here for shits and giggles. And you can see the name here, Cleveland Guardians. Well, they certainly weren't the Guardians in 1948. So I'm going to show you how to be the Indians. There's two ways to do this. So first way in a season replay. Second way, either a season replay or if you're just doing teams from different eras. Um, that being said, you will need the logos, at least the logos for all the teams. So if you got the all-in-one stadium mod on the Steam Workshop, you have them. If you don't, just download the logos and put them in your logos directory, and that will work. But you might as well just get them both. But I'm saying if you just got this from the developer and you don't want to mess around with installing all the ballparks because you kind of have to do that manually, and um, also the mod that's in Steam Workshop will automatically assign ballparks and logos. All right, so we're going to just start as the Cleveland Guardians. All right, and we're going to start this game. So this is workaround number one. So let's just let it load in. Hope everybody had a good night last night. I did nothing baseball related or anything like that. Just kind of took a break. Actually hung out with some magician friends, which was really cool. So a lot of fun. Okay. So what we're going to do is when you're on your home team, you're on your home page. So here we're on the Cleveland Guardians home page. We're going to go to modify team colors, logos, and textures. All right. But before that, we're going to change the nickname to Indians. Okay. So that's done, and the game won't change that. Yeah, I don't. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? And there's Dwayne Martz. Yeah. So Big Clue and Dwayne and I were at Bernard Strom's first live broadcast, and again, he did a great job. So kudos to him. That was his first live play-by-play. All right. So anyhow, first thing you do, change the name to Indians. Again, I'm doing this for 1948, and you saw that the game automatically defaults as Guardians. Go here to modify team colors, logos, and textures. So we're going to go here. All right. And if I want to select a different logo for the team, just select, and then I'm just going to go in here to logos, and I'm just going to look for Cleveland. Cleveland, Cleveland, Cleveland. I like that Action PC Baseball. I can just start typing inside the box and it shows up. But you can see this is a huge mod. So there we go, Cleveland Indians, and let's find their 1948 logo. Um, that one says small. Let's just go with this one. Let's load it, and there he is. There's Chief Wahoo. Pretty nice. Okay, and it actually, you're not going to see that up here, but and it's going to stay Guardians, but it's so that it's so hard to see these players' uniforms anyhow. But let's select, and again, we're going to go down here. All right, it's basically the same thing, and you can even see the naps are in there. This is basically the same thing when you're doing like cross arrow play or whatever. But again, just select it, load it. All right, and you can I don't know if I picked the right one anyhow, and then just click OK, and there you go. You got Chief Wahoo. Of course, this didn't change it to the Guardians. We need to change it to the Indians, because there we go, and you're the Cleveland Indians. Just just don't forget to hit return. So now you are not stuck playing as the Cleveland Guardians in a year that they weren't the Cleveland Guardians. It's the way to do it. If you just play the game out of the box, you don't do any of the you don't get the logos or anything like that. The only thing you can do is change the name of the team. This is just a way to change the logo in the team. Okay. I'm probably not going to do a 1948 season replay, so we're going to get back to the start screen, and I'm going to get rid of this. And then I'll just show you how to do it as a, did this even, yeah, there it is, Indians, and we're just going to delete this. Don't need it, so I'm not going to be playing it. Great team, the 1948 Indians, but would rather leave that for somebody else, okay? So we're going to cancel that. And now we're going to show you. I'm going to show you another way to do this. Okay. Yep. Yeah, just like Action PC Baseball. Ken Castro saying the All-Star Game viewership dipped again. Yup. Yeah, it's just, hey John, how you doing? Yeah, it's I had a chance to hang out with some fellow sleight of hand artists last night, and that's what I did. So. I haven't had an interest in the All-Star game in a long, long, long time. It's probably the only thing about baseball. I can take it or leave it. I figure I do enough of my own what-ifs and everything. And Big Clue's right. It's really kind of celebrity softball. All right, now there's another way that you can do this as well. So the first thing is we just did new historical game. But this works if you're using a custom game as well. Same thing, okay? So you're setting up, teams from all different eras, right? Just like we do here. So what you want to do is just go to fictional, all right? And then just for sake of demonstration of this, I'm just going to make just one league, and we're going to do one division. Again, this is just going to be very, very short. And we'll just do it with 4 teams. It's good enough. All right, doesn't matter. Whatever you pick here is because we just want to just get the Indians in here. Okay. So let's go to our next step. Let this load up. Well, no, well, here's the thing, John. So let's say you would set up a 1948 Indians replay or a 1995 Indians replay or whatever. When you bring that game into the next edition, in other words, you import the game, it will still keep it as the Cleveland Indians. But if you were to play, like I said, out of the box, and you were playing, the 2023 Indians or the 2022, it would be the Guardians. So then, I mean, I would obviously should keep it the Guardians, but the all-time greats league that I'm using actually comes from out of the park 20, and it carried all the way over from 20, 21, 22, 23, and now 24. So it doesn't, it won't revert back to that when you're importing a game. Okay, but you do have to do this workaround, and you do need at least the logos. But I would suggest, you know what? Right now, it's still available on Steam for $19.95. If you don't have it, it'll go on sale again this year, usually around World Series time. I'm just going to leave this as fictional baseball league because I'm going to get rid of this too. All right, so then what you want to do here, switch to historical team selection. Make sure you do that. All right, so just for, again, this time we're going to pick the 1920 Indians, all right, who had a very good year. Of course, that big pennant race in the 1920 American League, the Chicago White Sox. And you see right here, it's defaulting to the Cleveland Guardians, but we're going to change that. All right. But yeah, until Judge Landis dropped the hammer, the White Sox were actually about a game and a half, here and there. It was a really tight race in 1920. Once, by that time, Chet Gando was already retired from the game, but when the other seven Black Sox were banned, Cleveland, I think, won the pennant that year in the American League by one game. I'm sure a big clue. Somebody else will correct me if I'm wrong. Let's do the 19 Philadelphia A's. It, again, doesn't really matter. This is just to show you guys how to do it. All right. And let's pick the 1935 Tigers. Yeah, 1915. How about not being an idiot here and pick the 1935 Tigers? But anyhow, guys, you should subscribe to Bernard's channel. He's really, it's really fascinating and really fun to watch how he's doing this, and just such a great job. All right, Brooklyn, where'd you go? There you are, dem bums. All right, so I've got the four teams here, and right now it's defaulted to the Guardians. All right, so we're just going to click next step. And again, none of this matters. I don't worry about any of this when I'm doing cross-era stuff. Okay, let's do next step. And again, even though I'm not going to keep this, I always like to show off different ways that you can rate players or what have you. And I like 1 to 100. If you talk to a Red Sox fan, he will, say differently. Now, what's important is for this mod to work, though, always make sure that you put enable automatic evolution of the league. Okay, let's click next step, and I'm just going to call it 4-team test, just so I know to get rid of it. Okay, because again, it's just no fun. I like to play just in manager mode. GM is just boring. Playing commissioner mode, cannot be fired. There you go. Then you can do everything in the game you want to do. You have to be in commissioner mode to do this stuff. And that's whether you're doing a season replay or not. Okay, so there you go. We know it's not the Guardians, but you got to select the Guardians. Boom. And then start game. And then you're just back to where we were before. Now, the only thing is here, you're going to see something a little bit different. You're going to see a fake logo, right? A fake logo. And you can change that too. Okay, let's go. Let's make sure it's going to the Guardians. All right. And again, we're going to go to settings, modify team logos, colors, textures. So right now, it just has this. All right, we'll go back and change their name in a minute. Again, select the logo. So this is Cleveland, 1920. Go down through this huge list until you find it. Because normally the game would auto-assign in a season replay, but when you're doing fictional baseball leagues, even though you're using real teams, it's going to generate these logos, which, by the way, this is really nice because you can generate random. So let's say you were doing, and you weren't an artist, right? And you wanted to create logos for something like a Shanks League or a McGreevy League. Create a bunch of teams, right? And then have it generate logos for you, and then just use green shot or something like that to just capture. So real cheap way to make logos if you want. I like to make my own logos, in Photoshop. But this is just a little tip for you. A little added thing for those of you that like to do the cross-era stuff. All right, so let's go with, this is, we've got 1920. Boom. And we'll load it. And there, that's the 1920 Indians logo. And I would do the same, like here, the small team logo and what have you. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. I've got to get back here, change this to Indians, and hit enter, and there you go. You've got the Cleveland Indians of 1920. Hey, Nathaniel, haven't seen you in a while. Um, yeah, it wasn't out of the park's choice. They're not allowed to use the name Indians in the game itself. However, Major League Baseball cannot stop um, modders or players or anything from doing just what they want to do. Um, so I mean, there you go. But anyhow, I just I know that there's been a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, geez, this is really really stupid." They weren't called the Indians in 1920, and they weren't. So this is the way to do it, and get the logos, change the name. That's pretty it. That's pretty much it. It's that simple. So that's it. That's really all I came on to do is talk about this quick channel update and to congratulate Bernard on his first live stream, actual real live stream, and to show you guys how to be the Cleveland Indians. I guess that's it, man. Everybody's just coming in. Also check out the Dwayne Martz YouTube network. Good stuff over there. So, yeah, Todd, it was actually Cleveland. It was actually Cleveland that made that stipulation. There's only Indians. Never be guard whatever to me, says Dave Gardner, whose great great grandfather was playing third base for the 1912 Red Sox tonight. So good stuff. Oh, absolutely, Dwayne. You do excellent work, man. You do excellent work. So that's pretty much. Oh yeah, speak Dave Gardner. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Ken, we can do a ball game. Actually, there is one that I do have saved that I did want to play. Red Sox, White Sox, Cy Young versus Ed Walsh. So for the few of you that'll hang around, I guess we can do a ball game. Um, so I just said that Out of the Park Baseball is on sale for $20. If you're a hockey fan and a baseball fan, and if you go to Steam, you're going to find that if you buy those two as a bundle, it's $9.85. And so I realize I think Big Clue would be the only other person here that's a baseball only fan. But for the rest of you, I know many of you are hockey fans. If you don't have franchise hockey manager, I mean, talk to Dave Gardner, get his thoughts on it. He is the man when it comes to hockey. I believe RGL Network calls him Lord of the Rink, rightly so. Um, but two games for the price of one, and it's like $9.80 something cents for both franchise hockey manager and Out of the Park 24. And if you hate baseball but you love hockey, you're getting that game cheap. If you love baseball and you don't like hockey, you're getting it cheap. If you love both games, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. So, oh, then they must have had there must have been a. Let me double check that because what I saw on Steam, this thing's probably going to close. Let's go to the store page because there might have been a typo or mismatch there, typo mismatch thing. No, it is not. It is, guys, it's right here. Hopefully it comes up on my screen for you. If it doesn't, no, of course it doesn't. This is going to be acting weird. So let me find this and show you on Steam. Out of the Park Baseball 4 and Franchise Hockey Manager 9. Maybe that's the older edition. I don't know, but it's not. It's yeah, $8.99. $8.99. So rather than me trying to look for switching the screen to Steam, just have a look at it because it's there. As Todd B says that he's saving up for the limited edition sets from Strat. Big Clue says if you hate baseball, get the hell out of this channel, you wignut. Check it out, guys. $8.99 for Franchise Hockey Manager and Out of the Park Baseball 24. All right. So let's go back to the start screen and we'll do a game. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's load a game and let's get rid of that 14 test, wherever the hell it went. There it is. Goodbye. Delete. Yep. All right, so we're going to go back to our all-time greatest league. And I thought it'd be fun to use the MV. MV loves Cy Young. So, oh, another thing I wanted to show you guys, another little quick workaround here with Out of the Park Baseball, by the way. Do you remember I told you before that you would have to select here act as, and you can act as the manager of any team. Really, the only time you want to do this is when you want to do player transactions, and I'm still tweaking this league. And of course, I had drafted Arky Vaughn onto the Pittsburgh Pirates where he belonged. Whoever created this quick start back in 2020 must have been smoking something because they put Arky Vaughn on the Texas Rangers when Michael Young could very handily play shortstop. So I retired Vaughn from the Rangers, but he's still on the Pirates active roster. However, you don't have to act as a manager. If you go to MLB, right, and go to scores, here are all the games that can be played. And what's really, really nice, you don't have to change around. You still have to play in commissioner mode to do this. But I want to play the White Sox and the Red Sox. I just come down here and Cy Young and Ed Walsh, and I just click Manage Game, and we're ready to go. Yep. And yeah, we will talk about that tomorrow, Big Clue, but I did get your message in Discord, so if you're free and you feel like chatting some baseball tomorrow, um, definitely want to talk about that. And you were absolutely right. You know, yeah, I just say it's about Cy Young. He won a crap load of games when he wasn't pitching, and he did, 511. So, well, Robbie, that's something, that I'm sure maybe something that you and Dave would really like. I don't, I mean, I don't hate hockey. You guys know the only sport I hate. I don't hate hockey. I've watched some hockey. I don't understand it, but I think it's an amazing game. But yeah, Robbie, hopefully they'll do that. I mean, there's still a lot of changes they need to make to this game. Anyhow, let us go and watch this matchup between Cy Young and Ed Walsh. Boston Red Sox, Chicago White Sox. We'll return to the Ken Castro League tomorrow night for Game 4 between the 1907 Cubs and the 1908 Naps. The Cubs holding a commanding 3-game-to-nothing lead in that one. All right, let's look at these lineups. Leading off for the visiting Boston Red Sox, Tris Speaker. Batting second at shortstop, Nomar Garcia-Parra. Batting third in left field, Teddy Ballgame. And the cleanup spot at first base, Big Poppy. Batting fifth and DHing is Jim Rice. Batting sixth, right field, Fred Lynn. Batting seventh at second base, Petey. Batting eighth and catching is Pudge. And batting ninth and at the hot corner, Jimmy Collins. And taking the mound is Cy Young. Cy Young in 3 games thus far in this season, 1 win, 1 loss with a 5.49 earned run average, 1.78 whip. 5.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. All right, and for the hometown Chicago White Sox, leading off at second base, Eddie Collins. Batting second, old aches and pains, Luke Appling at short. Batting third in right field, shoeless, Joe Jackson. And the cleanup spot at first base, the Big Hurt. Batting fifth and DHing, Paul Konerko. Batting sixth at the hot corner, Robin Ventura. Batting seventh, left fielder, Minnie Minoso. Batting eighth and catching, A.J. Przynski. And batting ninth and patrolling center field is Chet Lemon. And the great spitballer, Ed Walsh. In 3 games, he has 1 win, 2 losses, a 7.16 earned run average. His strikeouts per 9, only 3.3. So Walsh a little bit underperforming here. Pre-game analytics kind of giving the edge to Cy Young. So let's see what happens. What? No Butch Hobson says. Hockey isn't that hard? Oh my God. Look, I'm not a hockey fan, and I know that's a tough, tough game. Not the most difficult. I still hold that baseball is, but hockey takes an incredible amount of skill. You got to be a good skater. And yeah, you can't be afraid of flying things in that game either. Hockey's pretty amazing. I'll just say this for F-ball fans out there, those of you that talk about how brutal and tough F-ball is, I think any hockey player out there would say, "Hold my beer." Sorry, there's just no way that F-ball is as and I'm led now. I'm told that hockey there's not as many fights before or anything, but even if you take that out, it's an extremely strenuous game. And the fact that everybody on that rink has to be able to skate. Even if you're a goalie, you have to know how to skate. But just the stamina, and that is a tough game. And I also hear, and then I'll get off this rant, F-ball. Well, the reason there's only one Super Bowl is because F-ball is such a tough game. Stanley Cup, isn't that a best of five, right? So, oh yeah, no, I mean, I guess, well, I don't know. I mean, hockey has all those lines and stuff. I just like to watch it. Um, Anything that moves along the ice at that velocity, I love it. All right, let's get to the ballpark. I don't want to speak out of turn. I really, really, really don't know a lot about hockey, except it is fun to watch. All right, so here we are, and let's look at pregame or at weather at game time. So attendance today, 18,193. We have clear sky, 44 degrees temperature, and the wind out to center at 9 miles per hour. And because I wanted to play this, I want to make sure that I've disabled the BNN network in the background. I hope I did, because there's one other game I don't want to play out. It's a Nolan Ryan game, and I'd like to play it out on the channel. All right. So here we go, the starting defense for the Chicago White Sox. And left field, Minnie Minoso. In center, Chet Lemon. In right, shoeless Joe Jackson. Around the horn, from first to third, Frank Thomas. Eddie Collins. Old Aches and Pains, Luke Appling. I love that nickname. And Robin Ventura. Catching would be A.J. Brzezinski and Big Ed Walsh on the hill. All right, Tris Speaker leads it off. You're hitting 298. On the season. He has 6 runs batted in. And Bernard was talking about in his stream how difficult it is to call live games, and it is. And Action PC can be, it's definitely tricky. And this one's even stranger because this one's unpredictable. And so, Bernard, welcome to the joys of live streaming games. And don't worry about mistakes. Everybody makes them. As Dwayne told you, have fun. All right, here we go. Ed Walsh is ready to deal. We're going to have a little pan around of the ballpark. A little Xfinity sign up there. And Walsh is ready to deal. Here is the pitch. I'm going to try to read this camera and go down a little bit lower. And Speaker bounding ball to third and quickly up with it. And Ventura to Frank Thomas. And that is 1 out. Let's see what we have here. We go to wide low. Yeah, it looks better. At least for the pitch. All right. All right, Nomar Garciaparra. It's unfortunate that in MLB The Show that there isn't a way yet to capture his whole ritual with the batting gloves and stepping out. All that kind of stuff. Garciaparra would have, with the new clock rule, would strike out just by being in the batter's box. Anyhow, Garciaparra hitting an even 300 4 runs batted in, including a round tripper. Walsh peers in, has the sign from Pierzynski. Here is the 1-2 delivery to Garciaparra. Garciaparra swings, weak ground ball to short, and gloving it is Luke Appling and fires on Frank Thomas. So 2 up, 2 down here in the 6-3 put out as Teddy Ballgame steps in, and as you would expect, having a pretty fine season, hitting .255 with 3 home runs, 5 runs batted in, and you know that batting average is just going to go up. So Williams in there now. Walsh deals, and here is the pitch. Williams swinging on the first pitch is going to dump this one to left field. Base hit, and Ted Williams is aboard as Minoso plays that one on the bounce. So Williams at first, 2 away, top of the first here. Boston Red Sox, Chicago White Sox, all-time great franchises. And Big Poppy with 11 RBIs, 3 home runs in the season, hitting 224. Waiting for the Ed Walsh delivery, the 2-2 pitch. Ortiz swings, and this one line to right. This will get down for a base hit. Williams is going for 3, and he will make it easily. So the Red Sox in business with 2 down, thanks to the Ortiz single. Williams at third, Ortiz at first for Jim Rice. Jim Rice with a home run, 4 runs batted in. Rice hitting 222 in the season. Christopher Slovic joining us here at US Cellular, or I think it's called Guaranteed Rate Field now. I can't keep up with these names. Anyhow, welcome. Can I turn up my voice? How about if we do that? Is that a little better? I get too loud from some people, too soft from others. I need a new damn mic, guys. Just gotta give me some time. I'm a tiny channel. Alright, hopefully that's a little better. Alright, thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Alright. Here is the 0-1 to Jim Rice. Rice swings, and this one is going to be a blooper, but out on the shallow grass. Pulled in by Luke Appling, and that does it. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the first inning here in Chicago. The Red Sox nothing, and the White Sox coming to bat. And we do need to switch our initial camera view to overview just so I can do who's where. In left field, Ted Williams in center. The Gray Eagle, Speaker in right field. Freddie Lynn from first to third. David Ortiz. Dustin Pedroia. Nomar Garciaparra. Jimmy Collins. We do have a couple dead ballers out here. Carlton Fisk, wearing the tools of ignorance, and Cy Young to pitch. All right. Leading off here, Eddie Cocky Collins, 345 average. Collins is making his first appearance for the White Sox in this young season. But Collins hitting 345 last year with 6 runs batted in. And if Collins gets on serious speed, Cy Young has the sign from Fisk, and he winds, and the 2-2 pitch coming. Collins cuts on this, just a weak little dribbler to second, but Collins with his speed is going to beat it out. Let's look at that little replay here. We just look at a regular replay on that one. So Collins just a little nubber there, but tearing down the line. And by the time that Cy Young gets over to the bag, Eddie Collins is on. So Collins with superb speed, as I said. And here is Luke Appling. His old aches and pains in the season, actually. And that was Eddie Collins not making first appearance in the season, my mistake. Luke Appling hitting 298 with 5 runs batted in. Cy Young checks the speedy Collins at first. A 3-1 delivery. And Appling shows bunt and takes ball 4. So that fastball missing low. 2 on for the Chicago White Sox and nobody out. Eddie Collins at second. Luke Appling at first for shoeless Joe Jackson. Now that they've included the Negro Leagues into the as a recognized Major League, Jackson falls to 4th highest batting average of all time at 356. So just being beat out by Oscar Charleston. And of course, those 2 are behind Rogers Hornsby, and at the top of the heap, Ty Cobb. All right, Shoeless Joe hitting a torrid 414 in the season with 10 runs batted in. Collins has an aggressive lead off second. Young with a check of the runners in the 2-2 pitch to Shoeless Joe. Here comes the runner, does not go. Jackson swings. This one, high fly ball to left field, and measuring it and making the catch is Teddy Ballgame out there in left field. The runners hold 1 away. And here's the big hurt, hitting 293. He has 2 round trippers, 16 runs batted in for Frank Thomas. And Cy Young from the high set, and the pitch. First pitch, and Frank Thomas sends this to center field, and this should fall easily into the glove of the Gray Eagle, Speaker. So 2 down, and could the White Sox be squandering an opportunity here? Coming to the dish now, and the DH for tonight for Chicago's Paul Konerko, hitting .211, a home run, 4 runs batted in for him. And Cy Young sets and fires. Here's the 3-0 to Konerko, and this fastball misses. And Cy Young dealing with a bases loaded situation now. Konerko at first, Appling at second, Eddie Collins at third for Robin Ventura. Ventura hitting a healthy .308. He's got 10 runs batted in, including the Tater. Cy Young needs to pitch out of a jam here. Works from the stretch. And here's the delivery to Ventura. Ventura sends us up the middle, base hit. And 1 run will definitely come in to score. Here comes the 2nd run. So Eddie Collins scores, and Luke Appling also comes in. 2 RBI single for Robin Ventura, and the White Sox jump out to an early 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. We're just going to keep calling it US Cellular. All right, here is Minnie Minoso now. Minoso hitting .350, 7 runs batted in, 2 home runs. 2 on. Konerko at second, Ventura at first. Konerko no speed at second. Cy Young, the 1-2 delivery. Curveball swung on. Weak grounder to short. Garciaparra will just run to the bag himself for the final out of the inning. However, the White Sox score runs on 2 hits. They strand 2, and they grab the lead 2-0. If Bernard is here, Bernard, I want to offer you one more little tip. It's not anything you're doing wrong with Action PC Baseball. Just a little tip. So when you're doing the play-by-play, 1 second here, guys. At least for me, Bernard, what I do is I just watch the chalkboard, and if there's a weird play, then I'll look at the play-by-play. But I used to try to follow that play-by-play and the ball's path. It's really hard to do. Just trust your instincts, man. And remember, it's fun. Most people probably rolling up games, doing some other things you're calling it. But again, I thought you did such a great job. But just a little tip on that play-by-play. I don't use it. And if also what you can do is actually right-click on. If you click the R button in Action PC Baseball, you can scroll. You can see a text replay of the play. So all kinds of ways to do it. If you hit V, you can see the chalkboard replay again. But I only use that if there's something very weird that went on. By the way, today in Out of the Park baseball, Robinson Cano suicide squeezed somebody, and it was a New York Yankees Tampa Bay game, and the Yanks won in extra innings. But it was so cool to see Robbie Cano lay down the suicide squeeze. It was kind of nice. All right, Fred Lynn will lead it off here for the Boston Red Sox, followed by Petey and Pudge. And the big Irishman ready to deal. Full count on Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn swings. This one will come back to the mound. Walsh has it. Fires on to Thomas for the 1-3 putout. So 1 up, 1 down here for Boston here in the top of the second. And it brings up Petey. So Pedroia hitting .250 with 2 runs batted in. Walsh winds and fires. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball to Pedroia, cut right through that one and chased. But that's the out, and Mr. Walsh will take it. All right, so 2 away here in the top of the second inning as Pudge steps in. Fisk hitting .238, 7 runs batted in, 2 home runs. Walsh deals. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Fisk. Fisk swings, and this one grounded hard to first. And taking it to the bag itself is the big hurt. So Boston gets absolutely nothing done as they go in order. We go to the bottom of the second. It's still the White Sox 2 and the Red Sox nothing. A.J. Przinsky, Chet Lemon, and then back at the top of the order, Eddie Collins for the Chicago White Sox with a 2-0 lead here. Przinsky hitting .222, 2 runs batted in, and a home run. So he is 10 for 45 in the season. Cy Young has walked 2 thus far. Pitched out of a bit of a jam. Here is the pitch now to Przinsky. Cut on, and this one grounded hard to short. and should be no problem for Garcia Parra. He sends it on to Ortiz for the 6-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down, and Chet Lemon steps in the box. Lemon hitting .429 in the young season with a run batted in. Lemon seeing some platooning time here, so that .429 average greatly inflated. We're very early in the season, something like game 12 or something, I think. Young delivers to Lemon. Here's the 1-2 delivery. And Chet Lemon looks at a call. Strike 3. That one a little screwball coming in there from Cy Young. So 2 away, and that's his first strikeout of the inning. And we're back at the top of the order for the White Sox. And Eddie Collins. Collins 1 for 1 on the day. Singled back in the first. Here's the pitch. And Eddie Collins swings at 1. So fastball getting Collins for strike 3. And the Red Sox face the minimum, and we go to the top of the 3rd inning, and we are still 2-0 in favor of the White Sox catching up with the chat. Bernard says, thanks, Beatles, is following the chalkboard, knows the game good. I could see that as you were going. I just know you'd mentioned the play-by-play. Field gets cramped, particularly with the infield and runner on first. There's a possibility this could happen. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. As Cousin Ken and Todd B are going after it. So the broadsides have started. But you did such a great job, Bernard. All right, Jimmy Collins now batting in the number 9 slot will lead it off. 3rd baseman for these Boston Red Sox from the dead ball era. Collins hitting .375 with 6 runs batted in. Then we get back to the top of the order. Trispeaker and Nomar Garcia Parra. Ed Walsh has a strikeout thus far in 2 innings of work. And the great spitballer with the 2-2 pitch to Jimmy Collins. Collins cuts on this one, a liner to left. Oh, nice grab by Minnie Minoso. So Minoso making a fine catch out there in the left field pasture. And we have 1 out. Back at the top of the order now for the Gray Eagle. Speaker is 0 for 1. And there's an error that allowed him to, he reached in a ground ball to the 3rd baseman. And this time, clean single to center, and having trouble tracking this ball down out there is Chet Lemon. And Trispeaker with his speed ends up at 2nd base. So a 1-out double for the Gray Eagle. And here comes Garcia Parra, who's nothing for 1. Speaker can score easily on a base hit. The 2-1 delivery to Garcia Parra, and Garcia Parra gets this one down, base hit. Speaker is going to round 3rd. Here comes the throw. Nope, and they're going to hold Speaker. So strong throw out there from Minnie Minoso, who does have a pretty good arm. So Speaker will hold, making me look like more of an Egypt than I usually am. So Trispeaker at 3rd, Nomar Garcia Parra at 1st, and here's Teddy Ballgame. And he can give the Red Sox the lead right here with 1 swing of the bat. Williams 1 for 1 on the day. Here's the pitch, and there goes the runner. Garcia Parra slides, and he is safe. 2nd steal of the season for Garcia Parra. 2 in scoring position now for the Scarlet Hose. Pale Hose leading 2-0. Williams back in the box now. Walsh works from the stretch in the 1-2 delivery to Williams. Williams swings, and this one will be a base hit left field. This is going to bounce off the wall, and this one should tie the game. So 2 runs are in, thanks to the Ted Williams 2 RBI double, as Trispeaker and Nomar Garcia Parra come in to score, and the Red Sox tie it up here in the 3rd. We are now deadlocked at 2 as Big Papi strides to the plate. Ortiz 1 for 1. Williams in scoring position. Ed Walsh checks Williams. No real threat to steal there. The 1-0 delivery to Ortiz. Little 2-hopper to 2nd. And up with that is Eddie Collins on to Frank Thomas for the 4-3 putout. Moving to 3rd on the play is Ted Williams. And here's Jim Rice, nothing for 1. Red Sox looking to jump into the lead here. Williams just 90 feet away. The 1-1 delivery now to Jim Rice. And Rice grounds this one up the 3rd base line. Thomas fires under Walsh cover to end the inning. but the Red Sox tally 2, and we are knotted at 2 as we go to the bottom of the third here in the south side of Chicago. And Luke Appling, the number 2-3-4 hitters, Luke Appling, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and the Big Hurt due up. As Christopher Slovic says, he's loving the chat tonight. Absolutely. So it's a good one going on there. Enjoy it, guys. We'll catch up here when we can. Everybody saying hi, Christopher. Christopher's been putting stuff up on Facebook from all over the contiguous United States, catching all kinds of sporting events, concerts, God knows what else. Good stuff. All right, Old Aches and Pains now. He was one of the 2 walks issued by Cy Young. He will lead it off. 2-2 pitch now to Appling. And this one catching the outside corner. So nice pitch by Cy Young to pick up strikeout number 3. 1 down for Shoeless Joe, who is nothing for 1. Flied out his last time up. And Shoeless Joe sends this grounder to first, and racing him to the bag and winning the race is David Ortiz. So 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning as the Big Hurt steps in. He is nothing for 1. Fly to center his last time up. And Ortiz swings. This one a blooper to left. This could not get down as it floats into Ted Williams' glove. No runs, hits, or errors. We go to the top of the 4th inning now, entering the middle third of this contest. And the White Sox and Red Sox tied at 2 each. Boston coming in with a winning record. Chicago has only won 3 games, I believe. So I think the Red Sox, if I'm not mistaken, are 7-3, and the White Sox are 3-7. Freddie Lynn will lead her off here. Lynn in the game, nothing for 1. Ed Walsh ready to deal. Here it comes. And Fred Lynn sends a gapper to left. This one high, this one deep, and this one just over the Old Navy fence. 383-foot shot, and the Red Sox jump into the lead here in the 4th inning. It is now 3-2. Touch them all, Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn going the opposite way on that. Let's have a look at the Super Stats replay brought to you by Robbie Wartburg. Here we go. Exit velocity in this 96 miles an hour. And that's some crunch there. And this one just over the Old Navy fence. Or the Old Navy billboard out there. Minoso making the leaping grab at the horsehide, just getting over the barrier. All right, here's Dustin Pedroia, who's nothing for 1. I'm sort of, Todd, yeah. Sort of, yes. So this is going to be, this one will see completion just like the other projects I do. But this will just be more of a sometime thing. And there are days, what I do is I'll look at the schedule. If I see some good pitching matchups that I like or good club matchups, I'll disable the BNN thing in the background. So if I click this, right now you'll see there are no scores, because I have that just disabled. If I just see 1 or 2 games, what I'll do is play one of them, let the other ones play out. So it is a replay, but it's not focused on any one team. But this is because I've just been tweaking this thing, tweaking it. So, Shoeless Joe Jackson was one of those, because Jackson could easily be playing for Cleveland as well, but I decided to put Jackson on the White Sox. I felt they needed a little bit more oomph, so I gave him to the White Sox. Easy enough to switch that back if you want. And I've done a tutorial on how to trade players, release them, draft them, things like that. So if you're new to Out of the Park, check it out. It's up there somewhere. All right, Dustin Pedroia now. Petey is 0 for 1 in the game. Ed Walsh deals to him now. Pedroia cuts on this one, a sinking liner to left, but it would just sink right into the glove of Minnie Minoso. Minoso with some pretty good range out there. Let's get rid of this out-of-town scoreboard. We don't need it. All right, here's Carlton Fisk. He has nothing for one. Ed Walsh deals with one down. And Fisk, shallow fly ball to left field. And again, covering all kinds of ground out there in the pasture is Minnie Minoso. So 2 up, 2 down here for Jimmy Collins. He's nothing for one. Digs into the box. Ed Walsh peers in as a sign from A.J. Brzezinski. And the wind in the 2-2 pitch to Jimmy Collins. Collins swings, sends this to the gap in right field. This is going to go to the wall for extra bases. So it's bouncing around out there a little bit. Jimmy Collins rounding second. Jimmy Collins is going to go for 3. He never slowed down. And a 2-out triple for Jimmy Collins. And that is his second triple of the season. So 2 away, Collins at third in scoring position. And here's the Gray Eagle, who is 1 for 2. Ed Walsh working out of the stretch to Speaker. Singled his last time up. Speaker looks like he's going to dump this one for extra bases. This is going to go to the wall. And the Red Sox pick up their 4th run as Jimmy Collins comes in to score. And the RBI double by the Gray Eagle. So Boston padding its lead here as Garcia Parra steps in. He is 1 for 2. Speaker off of second. Walsh checks the runner. Peers in has the sign from Pierzynski. From the set, the 2-1 delivery to Garcia Parra. Garcia Parra swings hard ground ball to third. And up with it is Robin Ventura on to Frank Thomas for the final out. However, the Boston 9 get 2 runs and lead the White Sox 4-2 as we head to the home half of the 4th. Hope you guys are enjoying this little game. Oh, thank you, Todd B. This is drop a like, Jen, so Beatles and kitties can get some treats. Absolutely. Thank you for that. My bigger cat, I've got to get him a treadmill. I've had to set up a series of game boxes because there's it's a very good game too. It's called Bard Sung. It's one of those big games. And so I have him, like, he climbs up in a couple boxes and up over Massive Darkness, around Sword and Sorcery, over Hexploret, up to Folklore of the Affliction, and finally makes it to Bard Sung. So it's a treat to behold. But I do thank you for those likes, and so does Albert, who's sleeping right now. All right, Paul Konerko will lead it off here for the White Sox here in the 4th inning, and be followed by Robin Ventura and Minnie Minoso. Konerko, one of the 2 batters walked by Cy Young. Through 3 innings, Cy Young pitching a lot better for the Red Sox than he did for the Manchester Red Bolts. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Young delivers to Konerko. Full count on Konerko, who walked his last time up. Konerko swings on this one. Line drive center field. Back and just short of the track, making the catch, is Tris Speaker. So 1 up, 1 down. Not too many balls are going to get past Speaker out there in center field. And as I've mentioned many times, and I could change that now to the park as well. And I've thought about doing this in Action PC for authenicity's sake to actually play Speaker shallow. And then you've got to start looking at everybody and where they play. And that's all right. Speaker's going to get to the ball most of the time. All right, Robin Ventura today is 1 for 1 and 2 runs batted in. And that was a 2-run single. Here's the 1-2 to Ventura. And Ventura, this one twisting foul on the right-hand side, and a diving stop. Fred Lynn makes the headlong dive. Looks like he's all right there. This one merits another look. Watch this. Freddie Lynn making a great play out there in right field. So this ball's going to twist foul to right, and watch this. Lynn just turns on the jets, and bam! And disappears into the crowd. A beautiful thing. All right, 2 up, 2 down now, and here is Minnie Minoso. Nothing for 1. Cy Young into his windup, and the 1-1 pitch to Minnie Minoso. Minoso swings, and this is going to be a liner up the right field alley for extra bases. Minoso is jet to second, and he will stop there. 2-out double for Minnie Minoso, and that will bring the tying run to the plate for the Chicago White Sox and A.J. Pierzynski. Just 1 home run thus far this year, and he's 0 for 1 in tonight's game. Please don't forget tomorrow night, 1907 Chicago Cubs and the 1908 Cleveland Nats. Cy Young with the 1-2 delivery to Krzyzewski, who grounded to short last time up and will ground to first. This time, right to Ortiz, and no runs, one hit, no errors. They leave one in scoring position, the Red Sox maintaining a 4-2 lead as we head to the top of the 5th inning. And we will see Ted Williams, Big Papi, and Jim Rice due up for the Boston Nine. All right, Ted Williams, perfect 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in this game. Big Ed delivers. And Williams swings, hard ground ball that actually slows down in the dirt. It's short, but up with it is Luke Appling. Appling's always going to make a great play out there. Hall of Fame shortstop. Excellent range. All right, so Williams is retired for the first out as first baseman David Ortiz steps in. Big Papi, 1 for 2. Walsh with the 1-1 delivery now. And Ortiz, who grounded out last time, will dump a base hit into left field here, making the wide turn at first, but he's not going to run on the arm of Minnie Minoso. So 1 aboard, 1 out for Jim Rice. Rice nothing for 2. Ed Walsh peers in, has the sign, sets, and the 0-2. And Jim Rice looks at a call at strike 3 in the outside corner. Krzyzewski framing that pitch nicely. Ed Walsh picking up his second K of the game. So 2 down, Ortiz at first, 4-2 Boston lead for Fred Lynn, who cranked a solo shot his last time up. Walsh sets and fires. Full count on Fred Lynn, and Fred Lynn is going to send this one deep to center, and camping under it and making the catch after running quite a long way. Tris Speaker, who runs 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on, and we will go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Boston Red Sox lead the Chicago White Sox, these 2 all-time great franchises, meeting 4-2. Cats love empty, yes, and dice, which is why I can't play any cards in dice baseball, or indeed any of these other games here that use dice. Which is pretty much all of them, except for, oh my God, what is it, Gloomhaven. But Gloomhaven is such a massive game, I don't even have anywhere to set it up. And like all the other games that I play, like a lot of these board games, there's very few I can play around these cats. Pathfinder uses no dice, thank God, but just about everything else does. So, yep, they love boxes of dice, and when you're playing games, it's worse because you're rolling dice and there's an empty box that they can just plunk their arses in. So Todd B is absolutely right. Chet Lemon leads it off here, the number 9 hitter. We swing back at the top of the order. Eddie Collins and Luke Appling. After Monday, so starting Tuesday, at least Tuesdays, yeah, Monday through Thursdays, I'll say after next week, my games will be starting a bit earlier except for Friday nights. So those of you used to Beatles Eternally doing later start times, I'm going to be kicking them back to about 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then on Fridays, we'll go a little later like we usually do. So that's the other little thing I wanted to say. Try to time it sort of around Bernard and after RJO Network, so I'm not stepping on anybody. I don't like to do that if I can help it. The 1-1 pitch now to Chet Lemon. Lemon swings, and this one a little flare to right, but this one's going to hang up until it finds a home in Fred Lynn's glove. So one out on that fly ball to right, and we're back at the top of the order. Eddie Collins, who's 1 for 2. Cy Young with a 1-2 delivery. Collins swings, weak grounder to second, and plenty of time for Pedroia to fire it out a Big Papi for the 4-3 putout. So 2 down. I was thinking about the 1884 Providence Grays that we're doing in Action PC Baseball, and of course back the 1885 Chicago White Sox. We get so drawn in to baseball and what was happening, you know, I mean, Chicago and St. Louis were considered the West in terms of baseball. But you think about that. In 1884, when the Grays were playing, for instance, we're still talking Wild West. I mean, crazy stuff going on out in the West, and yet in the nearer Midwest in the East, we're playing baseball. Murders are happening in the civilized way, in back alleys as opposed to city streets. So I wanted to pass along that little historical tidbit that, I just thought was kind of funny. Train robberies in the West and baseball in the East. Gotta love it. And corruption. Gotta love corruption. All right. Luke Appling bats with 2 down. Cy Young deals. Here's the pitch. Appling swings. This one, lazy fly ball to left field. Wait, no, it is not. The wind started to carry that ball, and it gets to the left field fence and bouncing around out there in the State Farm sign. And guess what? Luke Appling picks up a double. So it looked like, again, the wind picked that one up. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, just 90-degree exit velocity, and it just started getting up there and over, and there it is. And State Farm, Old Navy, getting a little bit of advertising on a channel nobody knows about. All right, 2 out, runner in scoring position for Shoeless Joe Jackson. So Bernard Sturm's here. See, that was a mistake, and I just made it into something else and pretended that the wind picked it up. I don't even think the wind's blowing out to left, is it? Right? They're going out to center at 9 miles per hour, so, still. Mistake, but it works. All right. Runner in scoring position. Here's Shoeless Joe. He's nothing for 2. Big Clue will want his money back, of course, on that one. Here's the pitch by Young to Jackson. Jackson swings. And, a dribbler to second, and picking up a drop in the ball. We will have to look at that. Looks like they will score that one an error on Pedroia, I think. Let's see. Let's just look at the regular replay on that. No, they're going to award it the hit. Play-by-play calling it a double clutch. Looked to me like he dropped the ball. Nonetheless, that is the 9th. That's the 5th base hit for Chicago White Sox. They will not charge Pedroia with an error. Runners at first and third, 2 down for the Big Hurt. He is nothing for 2. Cy Young working out of the stretch with Appling at third. The 1-1 to Frank Thomas. Fly it out to center his last time up. And sends this to center field. This is going to get down for a base hit. And coming in to score is Luke Appling. So an RBI single for Frank Thomas, and Chicago White Sox inch closer, and it is now 4-3 in the bottom of the 5th with 2 down. Shoeless Joe in scoring position. Dwayne Lawrence says, if you ever watch the movie Big Jake and John Wayne movie, the beginning talks about what's going on in the East while the West is wild. Yeah, right? Yeah, Dwayne, you're absolutely right. I mean, for maybe many, it's an obvious thing, but it just hit me tonight while I was watching Bernard's game. It's like, man, I'm doing baseball in the 1880s, and the Wild West was going right. It was Wild West, man. I don't know that anybody out there in Tombstone really cared how the Providence Grays were doing back east. How about it? Bernard says, I don't mind making play-by-play mistakes. It's just a matter of playing more games. Actually, PC's chalkboard ever does some strange things on occasion. It does. It definitely does. This game does too. This one, though, is more clipping issues that you'll see, so that's when a graphic sort of passes through a graphic. So you'll occasionally see outfielders do a bump Bailey, except they live. But yeah, the chalkboard, whether you get your first bunted in the air and you watch how excruciatingly slowly the ball moves. It's like you kind of, sit there and make chit-chat. So those are fun, but still, they've made great leaps and bounds in the chalkboard and Action PC, and for my money, still the best baseball sim out there. This one a close second, but Action PC for flexibility. That's your Huckleberry. All right, Jackson leads off second with 2 down, and Paul Konerko is nothing for 1. Konerko DHing for these White Sox. The 2-2 pitch. Konerko swings, and this one, Little Texas Leaguer to the left, and Konerko is going to pick up the RBI and the slide, and Shoeless Joe is in there, and the Chicago White Sox have tied it up here in the bottom of the 5th. We're deadlocked at 4, so the White Sox busy with 2 out and 2 on. Konerko at first, Frank Thomas at second for Robin Ventura. 1 for 2. Ventura has 2 RBI on the day. Bottom of the 5th, Cy Young sets and fires the 1-1. Ventura swings, hard hit ground ball to second, deep at second, but in plenty of time for Dustin Pedroia to fire on the Big Poppy to retire the side. But Chicago, 2 runs on 4 hits, and they tie it up. Top of the 6th we go. Chicago White Sox and Boston Red Sox at 4 runs apiece. So let's look at what's going on so far in this ball game. And again, just another, one of the things about out of the park baseball, in game, there's still a lot of stuff hit. You can actually, during the game, look at a complete game log all the way through, which I think is really, really, really cool. Just another nice little thing. If I would hit network, you would see all the other ball games going on at the same time. But I do like that it does give you a game log in case there was a weird play like that one with Pedroia. We could actually go back and look at that, what have you. It even gives you the counts. Really nice. Good stuff. All right. I think Action PC keeps the game log as it goes along too, but I've never used it. Okay, Pedroia will lead it off here in the 6th here for the Boston Red Sox, followed by Carl Fisk and Jimmy Collins. But looking at Ed Walsh through 5 innings of work, he has walked 2, struck out none. Walsh has given up 9 hits, touched up 4 runs. And here we go. Pedroia nothing for 2. Walsh winds, and the 1-0 delivery to Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia swings, and this one, lazy fly ball to left field, and making the easy catch is Minnie Minoso. So 1 up, 1 down. Minoso's been very busy out there in left field as Carlton Fisk steps to the plate. Pudge nothing for 2. Ed Walsh lets it go. The full count on Fisk. And this one just a bit outside. Thank you, Bob Uecker. So first walk for the Red Sox. Walsh now will bear down and look double play here, with Fisk on first and Jimmy Collins, who's 1 for 2. Collins just off to a great start, 1 for 2 today, and again hitting 380 as this at bat. Walsh with a check to the runner, and here's the 1-0 to Jimmy Collins. Jimmy Collins swings, grounded deep to short. Appling will start it. We have a 6-4-3 double play, so it's exactly what they wanted. Boston gets a walk, and that is it. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Red Sox and White Sox tied at 4. All right, Minnie Minoso will start things off here, followed by A.J. Przynski and Chet Lemon for the Pale Hose. Let's look at Cy Young now through 5 innings of work. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Young touched up for 7 hits and 4 runs. There's been 1 Chicago error. Only error in this game. Dead ball, if there was 5 errors, it would still be normal. But 1 error here in an all-time greats league. All right, the 3-1 pitch now to Minnie Minoso. Double back and forth. Minoso draws the lead-off walk. So Cy Young missing just a bit inside on that pitch. Minoso aboard for Przynski. AJ is nothing for 2. Lefty waits for the Cy Young delivery, and the 2-1 pitch. And this one popped high in the infield. This one might bring a little rain coming down into the glove of Dustin Pedroia. So 1 away, and Minoso camping out at first for Chet Lemon. Lemon, nothing for 2 in the day. Cy Young from the stretch. And the runner goes, and they got him nailed to right. So Minoso really didn't have a chance, and Fisk, he's basically hitting 333 as far as getting runners out. He's 3 for 9 on the season. Chet Lemon back in the box now, and the 0-2 delivery to Lemon. Lemon swings, and this one a gapper to left. And this will bounce around for extra bases. Chet Lemon is going for 2, and he will slide and hold up with a 2-out double. And the White Sox raising some hell back in the 5th with 2 outs and scoring 2 runs. Back at the top of the order now, Eddie Collins, who's nothing for 3. Second baseman in the box. Fisk with the sign. Young shakes him off, has one he likes. From the set, the 0-1 delivery to Eddie Collins. Collins rips on this one. High fly ball to center field, but gloving it is Trispeaker. So the White Sox pick up a hit, strand 1 in scoring position. We go to the top of the 7th inning, and we are still knotted at 4. As Trispeaker will lead it off, and we are back at the top of the order for the Boston 9, followed by Nomar Garciaparra and Teddy Ballgame. Trispeaker 2 for 3 with an RBI in this game. Walsh deals to him now. The 1-2. Run scoring double last time for Williams. He's going to ground to short this time. Appling to Thomas for the 6-3 putout. So 1 up, 1 down now for Garciaparra. Nomar 1 for 3, adjusting his batting gloves, his grandma's batting gloves. Why, goodness gracious, he even wants to walk up to first base and adjust Frank Thomas's glove. But a glare from Frank Thomas sends Nomar back to the box to begin the ritual again. Ed Walsh ready to go. Here's the 1-2 with 1 out. Garciaparra swings. This one a liner to center. This will get down in front of Trispeaker for a base hit. So Nomar aboard with 1 down, and here's Ted Williams. Williams not known as somebody that's going to ground into too many double plays. And Williams having a great day today, 2 for 3. Responsible for half of Boston's 4 runs. Walsh checks Garciaparra at first. Full count on Williams. Williams takes inside, ball 4. So that fastball missing, and Ed Walsh's day is done. And coming on to pitch is Wilbur Wood. I've decided not to change any of the manager tendencies for these teams since it is an all-time greats league. If I were managing, I wouldn't be pulling a pitcher like Ed Walsh, not yet. All right, still a double play situation in order, and here's Big Poppy. He is 2 for 3 today. So Boston, double digits in hits, and Chicago just 2 behind with 8. All right, lefty Wilbur Wood is 1-0 in the season. He's worked 6 2/3 innings and struck out 2. And here's the 1-2 from the southpaw. Swing and a miss, and a knuckleball. And Big Poppy flummoxed on that one, goes back to the Boston dugout and grabs some sunflower seeds. And considers the vagary of the floater. All right, Jim Rice now unsuccessful in 3 tries. 2-1, 2 out for Boston. Garciaparra at second, Ted Williams at first. Wilbur Wood lets it go. Here's the 0-2. And this one, a little flare to right and running in hard and making the catch. Oops. Oh well, we were going to sing the 7th inning, or the take me out of the ball game, but oh well, it is what it is. Anyhow, bottom of the 7th we go. Welcome back. As Luke Appling leads it off, the number 2, 3, 4 hitters for the White Sox. Appling, Shoeless Joe, and the Big Hurt. Old Aches and Pains is 1-2. Cy Young even in strikeouts and walks in the game with a full count now. Appling doubled off Young back in the 5th. This one grounded deep to second, and up and over with it is Dustin Pedroia for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Shoeless Joe, 1 for 3, stands in the left side of the plate. Young deals to him. And Jackson swinging the first pitch, liner to left. This will get down for a base hit in front of Ted Williams. Jackson rounding first, and he will hold. So Shoeless Joe comes up with the 9th White Sox hit in this game, and it brings up Frank Thomas now. Thomas with an RBI. He is 1 for 3. Young checks the speedy Shoeless Joe Jackson at first. Peers in, has the sign from Carlton Fisk. Set, and the 3-2. And swung on, grounded to second, and this is going to be a very quick 4-6-3 double play. The 7th inning is over. Red Sox face the minimum, and we head to the top half of the 8th frame. And we're still not at 4 here. Yeah, Dwayne is absolutely right. You're really doing a great job, Bernard, and double kudos because you're doing this now in an era with which you're not terribly familiar. I mean, you're getting good at it, but I mean, dead ball baseball, something, you know, you've said yourself was something you never really explored, and you're doing it. You're starting to catch on to the strategies. Stolen bases are always a pain, and then dead ball, it's going to happen, and you're going to see it from, you're going to see your number 3 hitter lay down a sacrifice bunt, things like that. But you're seeing that. You've been making some really good calls too, by the way. So. Be interesting now to hear, now that you took a rough road. You could have started with your first broadcast with a team you're much more familiar with in an era you're much more familiar with as 1950 White Sox. But instead, you chose to do it with 1912. Man, props to you. Props to you. And we have a pinch hitter here for Boston here at the top of the 8th. Kevin Youkilis making his first plate appearance in this season. Wilbur Wood on in relief of Ed Walsh. He worked 2/3 of an inning, has a strikeout. The 2-0 delivery now to Youkilis. And he sends this little flare to left field, ranging to his left and gloving it for out number 1. Culling off Chet Lemon is Minnie Minoso. So the little floater, 1 up, 1 down. So Dustin Pedroia will now try to figure out the vagaries of the knuckler as he steps in the right-hand side of the box. Pedroia, 0 for 3. This will be his first time facing Wilbur Wood. Here's the pitch. Pedroia swings, high fly ball, right field, going back on it toward the track, at the wall, and you can kiss it goodbye. Dustin Pedroia goes yard, 408 feet, and the Boston Red Sox in the 8th inning reclaim the lead. It is now 5-4. Touch them all, Petey. And as always, we like to look at home runs again. Exit velocity in this, 100.6 miles per hour. And boom, 5 rows back. All right, 1 out. Carlton Fisk will come in now. Fisk 0 for 2 in the game. Wilbur Wood into his windup, pitching with the bases empty. Fisk swings, easy ground ball to second. Taking his time with it is Eddie Collins, and he will snap it on to Frank Thomas for the 4-3 putout. 2 away, 1 in here for Boston in the 8th as Jimmy Collins steps in. 1 for 3. Wilbur Wood with the 0-1 to Collins. And Collins sends the floater to right field, and a sliding catch in right field by Shoeless Joe Jackson. And that does it. But the Red Sox pick up a run. It's 5-4. Let's look at that. Let's look at that catch by Shoeless Joe Jackson, playing in right field. And I mean, racing toward the line, and a sliding catch and holding onto that ball. There he goes. Shoeless. All right, Paul Konerko, Robin Ventura, and Minnie Minoso do up here at the bottom of the 8th. Chicago White Sox. And on to pitch for Boston is Daniel Bard. Bard making his first appearance this season. Or I'm sorry, he's worked 1/3 of an inning. All right, here we go. The 2-1 delivery to Konerko. Had a run scoring single in the 5th. Konerko, a little number to short, Garcia Parra to Ortiz for the 6-3 put out. 1 up, 1 down here. Robin Ventura, 2 runs batted in, 1 for 3. Grounded to second, his last hit up. Ventura swings, flare to right field, but it's going to stay up. And Dewey Evans. So Evans into play right field now for these Boston Red Sox. So Evans making the catch, 2 away from Vinny Minoso, 1 for 2. Daniel Bard goes into his windup, and here's the 2-2 pitch. Minoso swings, and this one, high fly ball to left, and gloving it for out number 3 is Teddy Ballgame. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and it's the Boston Red Sox 5, the Chicago White Sox 4. And it'll be Tris Speaker, Nomar Garcia Parra, and Ted Williams. Wilbur Wood still in there, has worked 1 2/3. Here is the pitch to Speaker, grounded out to Appling last time. He's going to ground to Robin Ventura this time. So Tris Speaker will grab some pine as Nomar Garcia Parra steps in. Good day for him today. He is 2 for 4. The 1-2 pitch from Wilbur Wood. Garcia Parra swings. This one sent to medium center, and Chet Lemon plays the campfire, camps under it, and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down now for Teddy Ballgame. Sorry, 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Wood. Williams cuts on this one, and this could get down. No, will not. Angling in on this one is Shoeless Joe and makes the catch. So side retired. Boston goes in order. Bottom of the 9th we go, and Chicago sends out A.J. Przinsky, Chet Lemon, and back at the top of the order, and Eddie Collins. Przinsky, nothing for 3, and on to close it down here to get a save is Jonathan Papelbon. Papelbon has worked 3 innings in this young season and has struck out 3. And good velocity by Papelbon. Przinsky now in there. Here's the delivery, the 1-1. Przinsky grounds this one deep to second, and Petey has it. And the toss over to David Ortiz for the 4-3 putout. So 1 away now as Chet Lemon will give it a go. He is 1 for 3. Papelbon working quickly. The 2-0 to Chet Lemon. Lemon swings. This one a slow grounder to short. And should not be a problem. It's Rick Burleson, so the Rooster in there. 2 down, and it's up to Eddie Collins to try to get something going for Chicago here. Collins not known as a power hitter, but a great contact hitter. He is 1 for 4 today. Papelbon ready to work. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Cocky Collins. And Collins looks at a call. Strike 3. And that is your ball game. The Boston Red Sox defeat the Chicago White Sox. So the Red Sox did just enough to sneak past the White Sox at U.S. Cellular Field by a score of 5-4. Cy Young, in particular, had a standout performance. Young gets the win, improving to 2 wins, 1 loss. He allowed 9 hits and walked 3 over 7 innings. Young also allowed 4 runs. Papelbon finished to wrap up his 4th save. Boston used a clutch hit from Dustin Pedroia to get the win. Second baseman drilled a solo homer in the top of the 8th inning to put the White Sox ahead 5-4. It was his only hit in 4 at-bats, but a game changer. So I had the totals all wrong. Boston Red Sox improved to 8-8. Chicago White Sox fall to 6-10. And our player of the game is Cy Young. Yeah, there you go. So Ed Walsh, wouldn't exactly call it a standout performance. Nice thing, of course, you can always edit these recaps. But that's it. We'll leave the game. And there was one game that I wanted to, Juan Guzman, Walter Johnson. But there was one other one, and that's why I have BNN turned off right now on this. We'll see Chuck Klein getting a little bit of love there. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Um, because just Nolan Ryan, I don't see him a lot on my channel. So Seattle Mariners against Texas Rangers. The Mariners are 6-4. The Rangers are 7-2. Speaking of the Rangers, congratulations to Robbie Wartburg and his Texas Rangers, man. No fluke, no fluke, huh? Oh, I know, right? Lack of stolen bases. Lack of stolen bases. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, Nathaniel. You guys are all welcome. All right, that does it. Speaking of stolen bases and dead ball shenanigans, we will be back here tomorrow night for the 1907 Chicago Cubs against the 1908 Cleveland Naps. I see that a number of you have signed up for Shanks 3.0. It's a nice one. The only commitment is just the draft, so really gratifying to see that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna get involved yet. I may, but with that in mind, we're gonna hold off McGreevy for at least till I find out when the Shanks draft is. So stay tuned for that. I was supposed to be on last night, but decided to hang out with some magician friends that I hadn't seen for a while and do some knuckle busted sleight of hand, man. So it was fun. All right. Yeah, Bernard, before you go, when is your next broadcast, man? Gotta know when Bernard's broadcasting again. So I'll let you guys know. And then we'll get the hell out of here. Juan Guzman and Walter Johnson, that might be kind of a fun matchup, too, actually. I love how Action PC also breaks down um, how teams are doing at home, like or how they're doing on the road, right? So the Blue Jays, for instance, in this game coming up, right? They're 7-8 in the season, um, and 4-5 on the road. And the Minnesota Twins are 6-8. They're playing at home, and they are 2-6 at home. I like those nice little breakdowns that Action PC does. So we gotta wait till Saturday. Wow, we gotta wait till Saturday for another broadcast from Bernard. This is only Wednesday. I'm sorry. Wait, what day is this? Thursday? Wednesday? What the hell day is this? It's now Thursday morning. Okay, so 2 days from now. To me, it's still Wednesday night. All right. Well, anyhow, hopefully everybody's clear on how to be the Cleveland Indians in out of the park baseball. It's really super simple. All right. So my thanks, as always, to Nathaniel Lenz, to Bernard Strom, Sports Replay, to the Hearts, to Dwayne Martz, who does great stuff. Go check out that channel. Um, to the heart and soul of this channel, Cousin Ken Castro. To Todd B, who always makes sure my cats are well taken care of. To Christopher Slovik, best damn voice on YouTube. Thank you, Christopher. And fellow Bucko fan, of course. To our ne'er-do-well, erstwhile heretic, if all those can fit together, to Big Clue. Thanks, man, for coming in. Talk to you tomorrow about some Cy Young and Walter Johnson, right? Dan Burke sneaked in on me. I didn't even see him. I feel really badly. Hey, Dan, thanks for coming in. I do appreciate you. John DFW, of course, and again, his great work on our Discord channel, for the Ned McGreevy Discord channel. Robert Wartburg, and Big Clue was first tonight in the ballpark. All right, guys, see you tomorrow night for dead ball action. Live baseball. Love it, breathe it, eat it, play it, digital it, cards and dice it, whatever the hell. Read it. Join Saber. Get lost in retro sheet. And until then, see you around the batting cage. Good night, gentlemen.